Hello, everyone. How you doing today? It's Mr. Todd Walters coming straight to you from Beaufort, Georgia. I'm sitting right here at my desk. I've got 3 monitors up. I've got notepads. I've got a few books laying right here, and I've got a really good uh, position here of being able to see pretty much everything in 3 different angles. So lots of information. But on the webinar with us, they've got some special guests that are expert at using other people's money when it comes to funding the different aspects of their business. So before we get going in that direction, congratulations. This is going to be a big webinar for you today. So I would suggest you get settled in and grab your notepad, grab your pen. We're going to be moving pretty fast and furious through these things. Hey, on your screen right now, if you're looking at your monitor and you're listening to me, is a letter I'm getting ready to direct mail to Platinum members in your package coming up. It's really a cover letter for the agenda for the event coming up in February 16th and 17th. This is really about, building a business that works really so you don't have to. And we do an event like this about every other year, but the whole theme is really around a business, again, that works so you don't have to work so hard. Okay, so if you've registered for February 16th and 17th in Orlando at this conference, great, you're solid. If you haven't yet, then you need to get going on that. The hotel, we do have some room blocks and some other things, discounts and other things we've put together with that hotel there down at the Omni in Orlando. So I'm going to recommend you don't procrastinate on that. I think the last time we had about 100 members staying down the road at one of the other local hotels, and they had to shoot back and forth using a car, and that sucks because it's a really nice, great resort. So here's what you're going to want to do: get to schedule in the events tab, and when you do, you're going to see where you can log in and register for Orlando right there. We'll call it the Ultimate Real Estate Business Conference for members only. It's 2 full days. You can check out the agenda, but you can write this theme down. Like, why would I come to that? Well, this is about a real estate business, not a real estate job, but a real estate business that works so you don't have to work so hard. A lot of people's fear, from what I've understood and what I hear and feedback that I get, is they're nervous about growth. Well, if I generate more business than I can get to, I'm going to have to bring on, an assistant or two, a few agents into my team, and I'm nervous that I'm going to be even busier than I am right now. I mean, run around, with my hair on fire all the time. And I fully understand that, and that's a great question. But that's the reason that you would grow it beyond yourself, is so that you're not the one tied to every real estate transaction in every detail. So I think a lot of agents that suffer burnout is because they push back on the very thing that is the solution to their problem of suffering from burnout, which is leverage. Leveraging systems, leveraging people, leveraging marketing, just leverage in general. So every business really is about that. Otherwise, it's not a business. What is it? Michael Gerber, he said, look, if your real estate business depends on you, you don't have a real estate business. You got a real estate job. And I think we all pretty much accept that. Everybody that's in our system here, we're all on the same page. We got in it for the same reasons. We really do want a business that works so we don't have to. Okay. And we're at various stages along that journey. Some of us are, sort of retired from that gig, and we just help other people do it. Some of us are right in the middle of it. Some of us just getting going with it, and all kinds of different ages too. We got people from, 20, 21 years old in our system all the way up to, 80 years old. So, and if you're like me, you probably never, you don't have any plans of getting out of it. I mean, it's a boatload of fun. And that's the way it works. When you put together a business that works so you don't have to, I am telling you, that is a lot of fun. It's challenging, okay? But it's a lot of fun doing it that way. So if you like the idea of that, that is what those 2 days are all about, the 16th and 17th down in Orlando. It is where the most successful system members will be over those days. February 16th, that's where the most successful will be. It's also likely that the least successful won't be there. So I I'm assuming everybody on today's webinar, I'm watching it in the future, if you're catching it on a replay or on the recording, that you want to be in the most successful group. Well, it's really difficult to be in the most successful group without doing the things that the most successful of us do. And that really is what we're going to be talking about here in just a handful of minutes, is doing what the most successful do, using other people's money. So anyway, I wanted to make sure I did a good job of promoting that event and benefits why. Okay, overall benefit. You want a business that works better without your constant involvement. Okay, let's say one of your issues on your plate is, getting things implemented. You're unhappy with the pace of implementation. Okay, so that's one of the big things I hear from, especially from Platinum members, is that, hey, okay, this is great, this is awesome, I love, but the pace of implementation, I would like to speed that up a bit. Okay, well, the way to speed up the pace of implementation is to back out of your business, okay, for a few days here and there, and gain the perspective of how to actually do that better. It's very difficult, let me repeat, it's very, very, very difficult to gain the perspective of how to increase the pace of implementation by waking up every day and having the same old routine of being a real estate agent. It's almost impossible to gain the perspective of how to do it better. So me personally, the way that I learned to increase the pace of implementation to the point of adding $1 million a year in income or more, to a very successful real estate business, was not to be a real estate agent all the time every day, and to move away, go hang out, spend a couple of 2 or 3 days every quarter with Craig, okay, and some of the top system people on the planet, and making sure I had absolute clarity on what I needed to do and how it needed to be done to push that forward. Okay, so good. So looking forward. If you've got any questions or any issues or problems or whatever about that event, any questions in general, reach out to me and let me know. Okay, you can type it in on the questions tab up in the upper right hand corner, anything you need to know or what you want to do. Okay, but go there, craigproctorcoaching.com, schedule an events tab. Take a look at the agenda. It'll get you really jazzed up and excited for one of the premier meetings. How should we say this? Multi-day off-site business planning and strategy meeting. Not optional for people who want to be more successful in our system. Okay, there you go. All right, so that was fun. This is my commercial for the day. You guys appreciate that, and we do a good job of promoting these. And that's why, like, if you were in Anaheim, sitting there with 800 of our closest Craig Proctor system members, then you were very appreciative of pushing it. All right, excellent. Hey, real quickly, I don't know if you know this, but around the middle of every month, I publish the next month's referral marketing newsletters that we call Homeward Bound. So if you haven't seen these, it's a 4-page newsletter. This is December's edition with using the Children's Hospital, and you can see it's 4 pages. So if you're looking for these or you didn't know they were out, whatever, let me show you what's going on here with these real quick. So here I am, just follow along. Library, file library, okay? So I get into the file library, and then down here in the alphabetical order, if I run through all of these file libraries, and again, there is a library for every category of your business, broken down. They're all in alphabetical order, okay? So I'm going down to the Platinum Referral Systems Library. And the reason I mention this, had a few people ask about it, so I thought it'd be a good idea to bring it up while we get started today. But everything about the entire past client and referral marketing system is right here in this library. As you can see, that's a lot of material. But right here, look. So every month I publish next month's newsletters for you, and we get them here around the middle of the month. This month we had a holiday, Thanksgiving in there, so it pushed us back just a hair. But I want you to look. I'm publishing 2 newsletters that are exactly the same, but I featured 2 different local charities. So one of the newsletters is using the Children's Hospital, and the other one's using another charity called Must here in town. Must is way more localized in helping people within the community. Children's Hospital, you know the good work that CHOA Children's Hospital of Atlanta does. If you're familiar with any of the children's hospitals around the country, it's more singularly focused on children within the community. So two different charities there written into the same newsletter, really great examples. Okay. And if you're really smart, then you're downloading every month the templates. Okay, so yeah, I send you the examples of the newsletters like we looked at there. Okay, for example, this one here, December Children's Hospital PDF, is this one that I was just showing you here. Okay, 4 pages on it. I'm just scrolling down through them really, really fast. Let me shrink that down. You can see right there, there it is in much smaller, all 4 pages. Okay, as a template for Platinum members to copy and implement in their marketing. Okay, if I go back to the coaching site though, this bad boy right here, every month, referral marketing December templates, okay? That download consists of all of the video scripts, the email, text messages, the ads that you would put on Facebook targeting a custom audience, as well as a Word document of what's in the actual PDF that you can copy and paste into your blog. Okay, and of course, part of that every month in this system is the publisher file, so it makes it easy for you to customize and these PDFs for your call. So anyway, want to make sure everybody knew that was there. That's been a big part of Platinum members marketing, and the reason is because the last 2 boxes in our system are the lifetime customer system. Okay, lifetime customer system, and it's all there for you. All right. So any questions you have about that, you can throw that in here along the way as well. Okay. All right. So with that, let me draw your attention to what we want to get on today's topic. This is going to be awesome. We do this about, I'd probably say on a webinar about once every 6 or 8 months. Okay. But today we're going to take it to another level. So right here on our coaching site is the Platinum using other people's money library. Okay, so we have a special category library for it. Now let me do a good job before. Matter of fact, let me go to my normal drawing tools. Let me click on that and get to that library here. Some of the things we're going to be talking about today are not in this library, but let me give you just a quick history on this, if that's okay for everyone. All right. So one of the affiliate agreements I believe on here probably will be with the mortgage company, and I think that goes back to November of 08. Yes, it does. All right, but even prior to that, I walked into the RE/MAX office here in Metro Atlanta a few years before that, and they had just inked a deal with a mortgage company in Metro Atlanta, one of the largest mortgage companies in the Southeast at the time. And I was trying to figure out what was going on, and it was revealed to me that the mortgage company was paying them money in return for access to the agents. And so I'm talking to the broker, and I'm like, holy crap, dude, I sell, I don't know, about 10 times more houses than the next closest agent here at the mortgage company. They should be paying me for access to me. And we kind of laughed a little bit. Well, I picked up the phone and called and arranged a meeting with the owner of the mortgage company. So he agreed to meet with me. I went in and met with him. And I said, look, I want you to pay me. I want you to pay me money, and I will give you access to buyers and sellers. Okay. And we had this long discussion about things, RESPA and all these things I didn't know about. And I says, I don't care. You tell me how it needs to work for you, and this is the business I'm doing. So I inked a deal with them many years ago, and I was told by this mortgage company, which was the #1 largest mortgage company in the southeastern United States of America on the Fortune 500 list of companies, tell me that I was the first real estate agent that they did a deal like that with. And I was like, awesome. Whatever that means, that's great. So I was in very early on using money or getting money paid to a real estate agent. Now, it's not that uncommon, okay? We've been at this for 15 years with Platinum members, and right out of the chute, coaching member becomes Platinum member. One of the first things we do is show them how to get and use other people's money to fund their system. Okay, so before I bring on the special guest here, again, if you're just joining us, we're talking about using other people's money. It doesn't have to be your money. It's just like it says, using other people's money. So we want to deal with that firstly. And this is programming. So I would write this down. Everybody on today's webinar, whether you're a special guest and invited, or whether you're a veteran member, should be at least in the pursuit of, if not already receiving, money in return for some service. So that's important because it has to be tangible. There's no reason for there to be anything secret. There's no reason for it to be anything under the table. Just no reason for any of that stuff at all. We would never promote that at all. This is all very, very beneficial to your clients and customers. Okay, but we have to look back at the programming aspect of real estate agents. All right, when you get into the real estate business, it's been my experience that real estate agents are programmed from the get-go to do things pretty much the way it's done around here and wherever here is. So if you get your license, you park it at a brokerage in your area there, you're susceptible to whatever programming is going on around there. This is the way you do it. So you're programmed from the get-go to use the same business cards that everybody uses. You're programmed instantly to get the same websites, templated stuff that everybody gets. You're programmed instantly to use forms like all the other agents do. So in other words, it's constant programming of being just like everyone else. So everybody has to recognize that from the get-go. And the more you try to be like all of the other agents, okay, that's where things go sideways, because the majority of them get out of real estate. And the programming is to use your own money. The broker says, I don't care where you get the money from as long as I'm getting paid. So you owe me, $500 a month. So you know what? You better go find the money. Okay. So when we show up here on the scene and we're telling you, no, use other people's money to fund the system, your clients, obviously, as well as people that benefit from your real estate business. Okay. And then what you're going to discover on today's session is even advanced methods that will carry you forward into doubling and tripling those dollars. You're going to be very excited with the special guest panel I've got lined up for you to reveal that. So the industry norm and standard, write this one down. Industry norm and standard is for you to prospect and for you to pay. You being the real estate agent. Let me repeat. For you to prospect and for you to pay. Okay. The opposite is pretty much what we do. As you know, we're really good at over the years. Craig Proctor has been really good at pretty much making the list of norms and standards and doing the opposite, which is the way it's done at the top of the pyramid in any industry. Success is pretty much doing the opposite of what the majority does, whatever norm and standard is. Okay. So if the norm and standard is to prospect and pay, then what is the reverse of that? Reverse prospect, have other people pay. You like that? So write that down. Reverse prospect, have other people pay. Thanks, Jason. Reverse prospect, have other people pay. Norm and standard, prospect, you pay. All righty, so you guys are getting it. So the first thing is recognizing it. And we are pioneers in this area. Okay, so you're in the right place. Well ahead of industry norms and standards, okay, but only because we pretty much do it a different way. All right, so as long as you recognize that that is programming, and it ain't easy to undo programming, you never really do, you still have it, but you have to put into your brain something that crowds out the old programming, just kind of squeezes it out. So that's what you go about doing. So this library is pretty good for getting you started on using other people's money. Okay, and I've had very special guests over the years present these things to you. As a matter of fact, I think these agreements may even be agreements out of my real estate company prior to me selling it back in 2009, affiliate agreements. You can see how it all, just the actual contracts, how it all worked. Okay, so before I bring on my special guests here, and we talk about this in depth. Let me give you a quick example of something that you could do. You have to decide what you're going to do with the money. So a lot of lenders will tell you, for example, if you want to press a lender to pay you, that they can't pay you. And really, I think what they're saying is they can't pay you in exchange for, leads or business or whatever, but they may could give the money to somebody else. I don't know, because it just depends on the company and what their philosophy is about, how laws read in those areas. It's rarely real estate agents to get in trouble here. It's typically lenders, because RESPA rules really focus in on lenders primarily, as everyone knows, in the United States. But look, we don't want anyone getting in trouble. We don't want anybody doing something that's going to hurt anyone. This is all about benefiting your business, the vendor's business, and especially your clients. Especially your clients, right? If it's not good for them, trust me, it ain't going to be good for any of us. Okay, so I'm going to go to a website here. Here we are. Okay, now up here in this corner, this is one of the websites, housesatlanta.net. But look right here. See this? Let me use my highlighter pen. Okay, see this affiliates tab? You guys see that up in the upper right-hand corner there? Affiliates tab. Okay. On the drop-down menu on the affiliates tab are just landing pages. Landing page for a landscaping company, a landing page for a title company, painting company, real estate attorney, and just you can add as many of them as you want. Your mortgage company, mortgage companies, like just add the landing pages. And the landing page is simply an ad. So here we are looking at painting for your home. Okay, well this would be the painting company landing page. So it would only make sense here that I go out and find a painting company that wants to advertise, pay me money in return for having this landing page. So all they're doing is renting space, in my virtual office, my website. Okay, so my painting company, Jose's Painting, right here, they would sponsor this page, and they would get a bill every month for, take your pick, $500, $300, whatever I negotiated with them that was fair, okay, and reasonable. Okay, so that's the very least that everyone can do here on today's webinar, and most of the people watching are. That's not the purpose of today's webinar, but I did want to start out with programming and recognizing, what we're up against in the industry. And then secondly, we've already set this up for you. Everyone that has one of our websites, they have these affiliate pages on it, okay? And you're, at the very least, would just sell the space there and invoice your vendor for that space. At the very least, that's a good starting point, okay? And then work with the people so that make sure you're doing this the right way. So, but that is in its simplest form a way. Okay, so let's suppose I got $500 a month, and the painting company spends way more than $500 a month on marketing and advertising. So here I come along with a huge database and all the marketing that we do, and I could just show that to the painter, and he's like, yeah, that's worth $500 a month. Show him the traffic numbers to the website, whatever we're generating. So if I'm getting $500 from my painter, $500 from the landscaping company, okay, title company, a real estate attorney, or mortgage company, they've all got their own page here. Okay, well, just run the numbers. 500, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000. Like it takes about one vendor to three vendors on average for a platinum member, 1 to 3, to completely cover whatever the investment is on a monthly basis for the system. So again, I'm going to have other people that benefit from my real estate company fund 100% of the system. It just doesn't take much, okay? But it does take some effort. All right, so there you go. Now, a lot of people say, well, look, Todd, I'm not selling very many houses. I only sell like 3 houses a month, and that's not enough for somebody to give me $500. Well, look, how many leads do you have? What about your leads? What about the cross promotion to your own database? And that's what we're getting ready to get into. it is possible for you to get a lot more money in relationship to the homes you close by just giving these vendors access to or promotional access to your entire databases. Just because you run marketing to your databases and you generate 2 or 3 closings from that a month, which would be on the low end for the people in our system, doesn't mean they won't pay you hundreds to thousands of dollars a month for access to your databases. All right. So don't confuse the number of closings that you have with how much money you're going to be able to pull down from other people. Because if you do, that becomes a wall and you won't pursue it. You will believe, well, only because I'm only selling a handful of houses, I'm not able to command or get more money or any money. Why would a lender ever pay me $1,000 when I'm only selling, 3 houses a month or whatever you want to conjure up in your mind? Don't do that to yourself. Because if I go to your databases and access, you have hundreds and thousands of people that they want access to. So everybody's getting this picture now. Don't make decisions for others. Please, God, don't do that. Our job here today is going to show you the way. So I'm going to bring on some special guests right now. I'm going to start with Jason, and then I'm going to go to Tim here. So I'm going to go open up Jason's mic. Jason, how you doing?
Good. How are you, Todd?
I'm good, man. So you're up there in the frigid north. Tell everybody what's going on with you, who you are. I know who you are, but tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Jason Bacconfuso, and I own a real estate team in Oshawa, which is around 35 minutes east of Toronto. And currently today I'm in Niagara Falls overlooking the U.S. and Canadian Horseshoe Falls here in a hotel room. I just finished doing a seminar of sorts to attract a high number of affiliates to use their money to pay for my business. So, kind of what I'm up to. So I'm not even in the city that I sell real estate in, and I'm grabbing affiliates. So it's kind of neat.
Yep. All right. Now you did something that is pretty interesting here. Is there something on this email that you sent me I should be showing, the one you sent me earlier today?
I just sent you another one that has an attachment that's.
It's asking me I got a permission and access. I got to request permissions from because I'm signed in under some different account with Google. I'll do that.
Let me send it to you in another format. You can pull it up. But I've compiled a list for everyone to see of the 99 suggested affiliates to go after, and really just the idea that, first of all, there's absolutely no reason whatsoever why anybody in the Platinum program should be using their own money to pay for the CP system or any other related technology pieces. It should be funded solely from your affiliates, and it's not that difficult to achieve that. So what I did was I put together a list of 99 affiliates categories that people can go to, and just a suggested dollar amount to hit them up with based on an average marketplace where your house prices are between $400,000 and $500,000. So we can do that, and really it's just about getting over the idea that it's much more than your real estate direct business colleagues that you're targeting here. So rather than just going after a title company and a lender, expanding your focus and say, well, why don't I go after a chiropractor and a florist and a dentist? Because really what I'm doing here is I'm selling access to my entire network. And what ends up happening is, number one, you get dollars to pay for your systems, but number two, you actually end up having a cross referral system where your chiropractor is now going to your lender to borrow money and all of their clients and things like that. So, a pitch to a lender could be simply, yes, I'm doing 3 transactions a month, but it's much larger than that. I've got a situation where I've got 55,000 people in my database, most of which have mortgages, so they'd be interested when it comes time for renewal. Would you be interested in getting your mortgage renewal offers or refinance offers out to my database of 55,000 people? Furthermore to that, are you interested in doing mortgage refinances and business financing for my florist, my dentist, my drywall company, all those different things? So really getting everybody to cross refer to each other is where the value is. And the byproduct is you get a huge vortex of real estate deals. Because, let me share one example, Todd, from today. I had a room of just about 55 people. And I started the seminar today by saying, okay, here's how it works. How many people in this room know somebody that is going to be buying or selling a property within the next 12 months? And I counted 31 hands went up. Now, the people in the room, there's a drywall company, it's a framing company, it's a roofing company, a landscape company. I'm just looking at the list here. I have fire protection company, a painting company, a plumbing company, a party and balloon decor, wedding decoration company, HVAC cleaning company, window covering company. These are all people that were in front of me today, concrete companies. I can go on. But 31 people put their hand up. Now, if you think of that, and I said, okay, well, if we're going to do business together and refer business back and forth to each other exclusively, does that mean that I've got 31 real estate deals that just happened here? And, people nodded their head. And I said, okay, well, how many other people in the room or people they know would be interested in investing in real estate but don't know how? And then a whole bunch more hands went up. And I said, okay, well, I'm counting like 50 or 60 real estate deals just out of this room. So getting the affiliates is paying for your marketing and your systems, number one. And number two, it's giving you a vortex of leads that is of really high qualified leads that is really beneficial. We know that the best leads are often word of mouth and sphere of influence deals. They're pretty good when people say, hey, you ought to use this guy to sell your house because he did a really great job for me. We talk about the testimonials and stuff. That's a pretty strong reference. So if you have people referring, you have a pretty high conversion rate. So what I'm finding by running this, I've actually created a business around it because there's so much money coming in on the affiliates that the byproduct is real estate deals and paying for all my systems. Mm-hmm. So that's really it in a nutshell.
Yeah, and what'd you say? You put together a list of almost 100, is that what you said?
Yeah, 99 affiliates. And when you look at it, most of them have nothing to do with real estate, but they have to do with the public, and the public is my audience.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's exactly right. So that's 99 opportunities. And I think that I'm not so sure, like once we shared the list with all of our members, because we can think of a few just off the top of the head, and you're probably right. Once we really start sitting down and making, writing things down, I wouldn't be surprised at all that to see a number of 100. But you said you were in a room with them all. How many were in there? You said
55.
All right, so you're in a room with 55 possible or potential affiliates for your real estate enterprise.
That's right.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, like you pretty much make your real estate enterprise a living by bringing people like that together. You bring the affiliates together, and it's just a big happy party of cross promotion and joint ventures and host parasite relationships. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so today alone should, after the follow up, should yield in the neighborhood of about $20,000 a month in committed affiliate income just from today's seminar alone.
Okay, so yeah, and everybody loves the idea of this. So anyway, so you got all the affiliates in a room, and what was it that you, first of all, how did you get them there into this room?
Well, I just reached out to the different business categories that are on that list, and I invited them. And the message is very simple. It's I introduced myself and I said I own a real estate company, and I'm interested in partnering with local businesses that are interested in referring business back and forth. And I'm looking for somebody in your category that I don't say your category, I specify what it is. I'm looking for a landscaper to partner with. Can you come and see me next week at 10 a.m. at such and such an address?
Mm-hmm. Okay. First of all, great job. All right, so they show up in this room. All right, got it. And yep. That's a pretty simple offer. Everybody understands that. All right, so you got me. You got my attention in the room. What's the offer?
Well, the offer is twofold. Number one, it's thanks for coming. Before we get too far into this, I'm most interested in people who are committed to making the community the best and safest place to live, work, and play. So number one, foremost is our community responsibility. So I'm looking to partner with high reputable companies that are committed to making this community a better and safer place to live, work, and play. Number two, I'm looking for people who are committed to growing each other's businesses together. And that means not only would I refer my business that I come across to you in your category, but I'm also counting on you to refer your business to not only me but to the other 99 affiliates that are associated to this location, and we're really counting on everybody working together to do that.
Right. So it's group selling. So I like that concept, Jason. I want everybody to pay attention to it. You getting one person, and then or instead of a meeting with the lender and saying, "Hey, lender, I want you to give me money, and in return, I'm going to send you some business there, give you access to my database or leads or whatever." All right. But in a group meeting, you've got lender, you've got chiropractor, you've got the painter, you've got the florist, you got the dry cleaner, closing attorneys and title companies and everybody else. They're all in the same room, and everybody's looking around at each other saying, "We're all going to be exchanging business kind of through this real estate professional here, Jason." That becomes a whole lot more valuable.
Yeah, for sure. And the proof of concept, it's not even conceptual, because I demonstrate it directly in the room. So I say to, for example, I say, "Okay, sir, what do you do for a living?" And he says, "Oh, I'm a roofer." "Okay, great. Anyone here need a roof or know anyone that needs a roof in the next 12 months?" And so I also throw it to them, because I want them to clearly understand that it's not me that they're dependent on. Mm-hmm. I'm simply the conduit that's bringing everybody together.
All right, so I got up on the screen here, just everybody's wondering what's going on here. On the screen is one of our websites. There's George. Hey, George. But I just drew a circle around this affiliates tab because, when you get the website, it's basically blank space. You've got a handful of landing pages for affiliates. So based on what Jason is saying here, man, you could have upwards of 99 that you're doing business with and promoting, and everybody's promoting each other. And it does go a bit further than just giving you access to your database. When you get that kind of network together and everybody's exchanging business, telling someone, "Hey, yeah, give me $500, for rentals," like those are silly numbers compared to the benefit that everybody's receiving. So that was the concept that we want to push forward today. Let's we're getting a lot of questions here, Jason.
I just sent it through to you. Yeah, fire away. I just sent it through to you again, Todd, there on a way you can pull it up.
Okay.
And you know what? Right. Even 99 might be a limiting belief. The reason I stopped at 99 for us Canadians up here is that's Wayne Gretzky's hockey number. But you can probably push it past 99.
You guys in friggin' hockey.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see what you got here real fast, and then what we'll do is we're gonna run over to I'm gonna bring Tim on. Look at this from a bit of a different angle. Let me erase my drawings here. But this is that Word document you sent me, and there you go, man. That's pretty good stuff. That's a great list, by the way. Is it okay to share this?
Yeah, for sure. It's I think it's already been done.
Yeah, it's on the webinar. People are snapping pictures of it right now. Yeah. All right. So yeah, can you hang with us and answer a few questions here, because we're getting some?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Let's.
So this basic thing is just, and these are low projections, but it's $11,700 a month.
Hey, great job. Okay, so now that raised a lot more questions. So all right, I'm gonna come back to you, man. Hang on. All right, let's flip it over to Tim. Everybody's familiar with Tim and Carol. And Vicky and the Carol Royce team. Tim, how are you?
Yeah. Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well, man. So good. I'm throwing up a webinar an email that you sent me there, so everybody can see your smiling face. I didn't have Jason's picture, or I would have thrown him up there. But there's Tim right there with Carol's team, and you guys are one of the premier real estate sales teams out in the United States today. And tell us a little bit about how you've moved from this whole concept of working with affiliates and vendors, in other words, from using their money, because you guys have been doing this for a long time, and you've kind of taken it to a different level as well. Do you mind giving everybody an update?
Yeah, and Todd, it really is key what Jason said. You start with, or what you mentioned earlier, you start with 1, 2, 3, and you build. You just start building this. Like Jason, you can see he's got a great list, and it's great him sharing that. So what we did, we still have some of these vendors in play. We have a great vendor book. We still have contributors from our home warranty company, our home inspectors, termite guys, all these guys. But what we really looked hard at, Todd, was we looked at title and we looked at lending. We felt like that had the most amount of money that we could capitalize. So when Gold Star, this came out with you, Todd, they came around, we started talking around town, and there were some companies out there that were doing partnerships. So Nexa Mortgage, we own a branch. So Nexa Mortgage, Carol Royce, we have a branch. We have 2 loan officers right in my office, and they work right out of here helping our clients obtain loans. And we have one other LO that calls through the database, and she's doing wonderful. So we've only been doing this for a period of 90 days, okay? And then we also did a joint venture with Title Alliance, and we've been doing that for approximately 45 days. So the Title Alliance number we've made in the 45 days, 28,000. And in the 90 days, we've made with our mortgage company 50,729. That's a 90 days. So our projection for 2019 will be somewhere right about 350, 375, for money coming into our branch. And here's what that does. This is the thinking. This is the shift in the thinking. We just signed really large TV contracts just this morning, local and across the board on all the TV stations. And that money will help pay for that. So we can shift this money into TV, into radio, but it's like a monster. You just keep feeding this thing. The more you feed it, the bigger it gets, and sooner or later you're controlling, because we're controlling these leads. And you can go out and hire who you want to hire when you want to hire them when you have this kind of power and this kind of cloud out there with call-ins that we're getting. So it really, the mindset and the thinking and the shift in that, it's just something that I can't take all the credit. Carol and Vicki did a wonderful job in this arena. They saw the vision in this. They went out and made it happen. But it's something that will pay very big dividends. And this money, we don't have to come out of pocket to run these big campaigns. Does that make sense, Todd?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. So let's now you've got your lender affiliate there with you. Is that right, Joe?
Yeah, Joe is here.
Yes, I'm here, Todd. How you doing?
Hey, Joe.
He can explain it. Yeah.
All right. So Joe, so you've got a little different deal here working with Tim and them. It's more of a partnership than it is an affiliate. Was that the right? Is that the right way to pitch
correct.
it? Okay.
That's correct.
All right. So and I see that in a lot of our members here that are on today's webinar, people looking at it now and into the future. That is a natural progression of things. There's, we've got folks in Canada. They've got different laws, regulations. You got people here on the webinar. They have different ideas about the direction of their business, and these sort of things. But there is a progression. Like once you get rolling, once you get involved and you begin relationships with vendors, they become affiliate partners, and then holy crap, you may even become an owner in some of these various companies. Like Jason has built the whole real estate enterprise, literally a franchise, project around the whole thing. So it is a big deal for everybody. Now you guys are basically partners with Carol Roy's team there on the mortgage side. Okay,
That's
so
no,
right.
we own the mortgage branch.
Okay.
Carol owns the mortgage branch. Yeah, just want to clarify that. Yeah.
Now, she owns it solely, or is it with Gold Star or those guys?
She owns it with Nexa Mortgage. She owns a branch. Nexa is the corporate office in Phoenix, but she owns a branch. We own a branch right here in our office. Yeah.
And that started where?
That's, Todd, that's a great question. Because it started with somebody picking up the phone and trying to sell Carol an idea, and she gave it 5 minutes to listen, where most people hang up, but she listened to the idea and to the pitch, and she said, man, this shoe fits. I need to look more into this. But it started with, Carol, you have a lot of business. You got guys you guys are a major player. We'd like to see if we could establish a partnership where you guys can run a branch for us. Tom, Her husband is our branch manager for Nexa Mortgage. So it's all, he's licensed. He's a licensed LO. This is all very much on the up and up. And so that's where it started.
Yeah, it's a great business there. Carol's, I don't know, she may be in Hawaii today. So, all right, well, let me flip it over to Joe, since Joe's got some experience here as an LO, right, Joe? I mean, are you the primary driver, you're the originator?
Yes,
for most of these loans?
correct.
Okay, all right. Just give everybody real quick here. I'm just curious, while we're on the subject, let's walk it back. Let's say that you guys got your mortgage company there. I'm an agent, and I want you to pay me money in return for doing business together. There's some do's and don'ts there that you're familiar with, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Just share a little bit of that if you don't mind.
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing is, before going into the working for Nexa Mortgage, I actually came from the mortgage banking world, and I'm very familiar with being a loan officer, working for a big, large banking organization, trying to figure out ways of building partnerships and relationships with agents, right? And the only way that we can really come up with that is coming up with, for a lack of a better word, marketing agreements, where, for a lack of a better word, I pay an agent X amount of money to advertise on their website. And in return, my expectation was, hopefully, that I would get loans out of the partnership. But what ends up happening is, when you work for the big, large banking institutions, they have a lot more overhead. Those fees have to be paid somehow, and they're typically calculated in interest rates, and you're limited on what you're able to do with a realtor partner. Mm-hmm. So as the interest rates started to go upwards, you started to see more and more brokerages, and that's what Nexa is. It's an actual broker that we don't work with one bank. We work with 25 different banking institutions, and we don't have to follow all the rules and regulations of the big banking conglomerates, okay? Mm-hmm. So where this came about, and in my opinion, it's a win-win scenario, is nothing's worse, and I'm going to speak from a lender perspective on this, nothing's worse when you set up a partnership with a particular realtor and you decide to pay them, let's just say it's $1,000 a month, and 90 days goes by and you don't get any buyers, you don't get any loans out of it. Well, the reason why this program was developed and why it works well is, when Tim and Carol benefit, I benefit. So in other words, when they give me a buyer that translates into an actual loan, there is a certain percentage of that loan that goes into Tim and Carol's account for each and every single loan that we do. So it's in my best interest, obviously, to provide the best service and the best rates that I possibly can for Tim and his organization. But in return, it's in his best interest as well to give me as many buyers as he possibly can, because the more loans I do, the more that goes into that, for lack of a better word, that bank account. And what's inside that bank account, they can use to offset all of their marketing and platforms and things of that nature.
Yeah, so Todd, like our radio show, it's paid for. Our TV, this big package we put together, as we get going, that'll be paid for. All of our expenses coming in 2019. They said, "Wow, how are you doing that?" And mm-hmm. people are just standing around dumbfounded. And it's like, it's not that hard.
Yeah. Hey, Win, the numbers don't lie. You guys, in just what you said, how many? 90 days?
Yeah,
90 days.
Yeah, 90 days. We're at 50,000.
Yeah, and if you could see here, Todd, I know you touched on it. Some of the realtors that are out there that are saying, "Well, wow, Todd, how do I do this? I only do 3 loans. I only do 3 deals a month." Well, if you just average this out, I mean, we're doing a little over 3 deals a month, and we just started, and obviously we're growing more and more into this. But 3 deals a month is equated to $50,729 that Tim and Carol could use for advertising. So it's definitely a viable option, and for me as a lender, it's a win-win scenario, because it's in Tim's best interest to send me as many deals as he possibly can. It's not just a flat, "Hey, let me pay you $500 a month" type scenario, or $1,000.
Yeah, Todd, it works out pretty good. I get a buyer, comes in, he gets a presentation, goes through the information with us, and then goes over to Joe, mm-hmm. who sits literally right behind my desk and gets called, and so the synergy with the sell part of it makes it even that much more easier. Many times, Todd, this is the key. He's able to turn buyers that we didn't have control over, right. and we're starting to see that. So we're getting ready to bust out for December and January. Got huge numbers on the books. So I'm pretty excited. And Joe has the luxury of just not having to have any expense in this from Correct. Going out there and cold calling and marketing. He's just sitting back and letting these leads come into him. He's doing a wonderful job of converting them and closing them.
Yep.
So for December, Todd, For December right now in closings, we have 2.25 million just in December. So I mean, you look at over the last 90 days, we had 3.1 million over the last 90. Well, in December alone, which I don't have on this sheet, we have 2.25 million just in the month of December alone. So you can see it's obviously, yeah, thank you. It's advantageous for myself being a loan officer because, as Tim's point, I'm not paying for the lunches and seminars and things of that nature. I mean, my job and sole duty is to convert as many buyers as Tim provides me. And the more buyers I convert, the more revenue that we both make. That's the way it works.
Nice job. Okay, so let's we've got a lot of questions. I'm going to run through them. You guys hang in there with me for a moment. All right, so we basically have confronted three different arrangement situations in terms of leveraging our real estate business. Number one, okay, is just simply selling the space, for example, on our website to affiliates, in return for a few bucks. You get 4 affiliates buying, I'll take you guys back there. Hang on one second. Just walk us through kind of the evolution of things. So, for example, you guys can see where I'm at right here on this website. Let me erase my drawings and throw up another one. Here we go. On this affiliates tab is what I call the easiest way to go about this. Is selling space. I'm giving the affiliate painting company, take your lender, whoever it might be, access to our database and whatever cross promotion we may be doing there. But tangibly, they're buying, renting, paying for ad space on my website. Step one. Step number two. Okay. Step number two is let's take it a step further. Jason up there in Toronto area is putting affiliates, and I showed you guys a list. I'll throw that back up here. Hang on one second. Trying to walk and chew gum at the same time. So let me go to my normal drawing tool and throw up that list again. There it is. Big list. We've got a lot of people asking me for it. I'll make sure that Jason said we can share this. So the list plus the amount of money that they're paying. So Jason's putting all of these, a good bit of these people in a room, okay, and group pitching them on all networking together, with him being the focal point on it, and it equals big revenue, okay. And everybody likes the idea. The landscaper likes the idea of referring back and forth with the countertop guy, sharing of databases and networking. It's no question about it. With Jason being the focal point, and he's got market centers around, the area that do this. So that's great. And then the third thing that we brought to the equation was, hey, this for many of you has led to not just relationships with vendors, but ownership in title companies and mortgage companies, like Tim was just talking about there with Carol, and their relationship of being a branch of Nexa Mortgage, generating good money. Okay, so that's where this goes, man. But there's a starting point here, and we've done a good job of covering it. Okay, let's get into some of the questions here, and I'll open up your microphone there, Jason, because some of these questions. Now, you're good, Jason, with me sharing this with everyone?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so I'll post it on the coaching site and let everybody know as soon as we're done here. We'll get to that, so everybody can have access to that for sure. Okay, how often do you have vendors stop paying you from lack of referrals? For example, saw a limousine affiliate on that list. How long would that limo driver keep paying $200 if they don't get business?
I'm not sure, because it's not dependent on me. You see, that's the real higher level graduation point. I own a real estate company. I may or may not book a limo in a month, but there are 99 other companies that all have client bases that are booking limos all the time. Like, the question I would pose there would be, how many people in the room know somebody or maybe themselves that are getting married in the next 12 months? Yeah, are you guys okay with using this limo company over here? Been in business a long time. He does his own pitch, whatever, once they get to know him, but it's not dependent on me. So my transactional volume in real estate is irrelevant to the equation.
There you go. That's why I said don't make other decisions for people. Yeah, if they're getting business from the other affiliates, it's a bargain. Those are small numbers for these guys. They're very happy with it. I like that. Are there any businesses that we probably should exclude? Like we don't want to be in our list of affiliates?
Is this a question for me?
Sure.
So my answer to that would be no, because I'm not even interested in the business itself. That's part of my company, with one exception: any business that is of not of good moral character and habits. So I wouldn't have a adult entertainment business. I wouldn't have a marijuana dispensary business. I wouldn't have, even though it's legal in Canada, it still has a stigma around it. I don't associate with companies or people that have questionable moral character or behavior. So I just wouldn't rub my brand with them. But beyond that, my thinking has nothing to do with the companies itself. You see number 4 there, drywall, number 3, roofing. I don't care so much about the owner of the drywall and roofing company. I'm more concerned with how many customers does that person have, or how many people do they go to high school with, or that they're friends with in the neighborhood. Maybe it's a sports team that they belong to or they coach. I want their entire network sending me real estate deals. So it's not focused on their business. It's focused on their network. If you leverage this type of network that's on this page, the exponential, we're talking exponential growth in your real estate business, not adding 3 or 4 or 5 deals a month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to sit here and look at this and argue that point, for sure.
The dry cleaner.
What's the deal with ABC?
In order of priority, we can't do everything all at once. So in my experience, the easiest categories to attract to your movement, if you will, is category A. Mm-hmm. And that's just arbitrary. It's just what I put down because that's just been my experience. So if I'm going to start doing this, I'm going to start with category A. They're the easiest people to land.
Let's talk about, real estate agents sometimes get hung up in the weeds. I think everybody knows what I mean. We get lost in the weeds, like privacy, questions, disclosure issues, and they're scared to press the gas pedal to move forward on things because somebody may sue them for something or whatever it might be. Legitimate concerns. So what's your take on that in terms of privacy, disclosure of giving your customers contact information to any of these people or any of these people sharing it to your customers? And then I'll kick that over to Tim as well. Go ahead, Jason.
Yeah, so for us, we don't provide our list of customers or our database. Our database is where all our money is. We don't provide that to those people. We simply provide these services to our database. So instead of me providing a client list to the electrician, I provide the electrician to my client base. So that's the number one way to get around that. On the legal issues, I've sought legal opinions from the brightest lawyers in this country, and the way I've got around it was create a business around this, and they're actually paying the fee to a marketing company as opposed to my real estate company. So it's not a situation. No one's ever paying for leads. They're paying for advertisement and marketing. So it's a big difference that way. I'm not saying, hey, look, fence guy, here's the deal. You join me here, and I'm going to give you X number of leads. Or hey, fence guy, pay me money on all the leads I give you. Or especially lawyers. Fence guy can probably get away with it, but lawyers are regulated. I can't say to the lawyer, hey, send me a client and I'll pay you money, or I'll send you a client and you pay me money. That's a major issue here. I'm sure it is in the States. I keep hearing you talk about RESPA. There'd be issues all over the place for that. So what it is simply it's joint marketing. That's it. We've got a marketing company we contribute to, networking center, and I've built a business around the whole thing. The byproduct is a ridiculous vortex of real estate deals and a lot of money. These lists alone, there's 37,800 if you total up just what's on these sheets of paper. 37,800. This is a month. My center in Oshawa, I'm going to be collecting well north of $100,000 a month in affiliate revenue.
Nice job.
It's a business, man.
Yeah, it is. Well, let's say I'm the dry cleaner, and you introduce me to the florist, and the florist is sending me customers. Like, we're doing some stuff together here. Why would I keep paying you?
Well, that's an interesting point. And the reason that they're going to keep paying me is because I have something tangible in my center that they belong to something much larger than simply a pass stuff back and forth. It's a center that that is a real bricks and mortar tangible location that they're benefiting from working back and forth with each other on it. So it's much larger than just, hey, here's a list, let's just refer back and forth. Nobody's hands in anyone's pocket. So when they refer back and forth, even without my involvement, there's nobody collecting referral fees and paying this, that, and the other thing. And they just simply that the other component that we have in our center is a community mobilization piece, which people just aren't capable of pulling off on their own. We engage levels of government. We engage people right from the top down to rally behind community initiatives to make the community a better, safer place to live, work, and play. And that's where our client base comes from. I've got over 55,000 people, members of the public in my Oshawa location alone. That's a list of people that they just simply wouldn't be able to do on their own. So we're in front of them all the time. I've got the mayor comes out to my seminars. I've got members of the government and police department and everything that come out. So it's much larger than just paying me for monthly marketing affiliation. So they belong to something much larger than, say, something like the Rotary Club or Chamber of Commerce. So that prevents them from leaving.
And there's the value question here too, like what they're paying and versus what they're receiving. It doesn't make sense to disrupt it.
Correct.
It's just not a really good business decision if I'm paying out $500 and I'm making thousands of dollars in return. It's like Joe said a little bit ago, the mortgage originator there in Arizona. It's like Joe just said. It's when boxes are put around it and the LO or mortgage company is paying the agent $1,000, and all the agent does is give him a shot at their not leads, but their business that they've generated. Well, that's really short-sighted here, and will likely lead to tension on an ongoing basis. So the purpose of this webinar was the advanced side of it, so that if we're going to get into the ball game of taking money from people in return for business relationships, man, let's press the gas pedal and make it really good for everyone. And we're doing a great job of that on this.
Todd, one more quick piece, just on the why wouldn't they just go and do this on their own? We're in front of the community. Our organization, we're leaders in each community. So we do community initiatives that attract a lot of media attention. And we're doing things like graffiti eradication together as a group. We just did one where there's a seniors residence, a care facility where they didn't have any televisions because of funding. It's a government facility and they didn't have any televisions for the senior citizens. So we got together as a group and got a whole bunch of televisions and we went and put them up in the center. We did another one where we built a playground for a school that didn't have a budget to rebuild their playground. And it's all of these people on this list that's doing this. So they want to be on the right side of history here. They want to be on the right side of the team. So of the story. So if this painter decides, hey, I don't need you anymore, he's competing against a movement in the community that is much larger than any of his businesses out there. And they just don't want to be on that other side.
Aren't you in Canada?
Yeah.
I thought everyone in Canada had televisions.
Yeah.
And playgrounds and healthcare and retirement accounts and you
know what they do, and they would get it. And the school board was going to take 8 months to put it in the budget, so we just went on the weekend and rebuilt it. We just got the concrete guy to go pour the pad
so
and build it.
I got it. So it's a waiting list for the TVs.
There you go.
Okay. All right, let's take up a few of these. We got some other questions here. Tim, you guys got anything to add on any of these comments?
Yeah, Todd, one thing that you've really impressed on us, and we've really sort of taken to heart is with the CP coaching system, there's no better company out there where you can control your own marketing, own destination, and your leads, prospects, appointments. And I hear chatter. I listen to people say, hey, how's, Boomtown, Sync, Zillow, all these other third parties. But one thing that I just really want to impress on people in this whole thing is that when you can put something into play and you generate dollars from it, and then you can turn around and put it directly into our system in our campaigns that a call will come back to you, and you're not relying on anybody else or needing help from anybody else. That is the secret in all of this, okay? Huge, huge tip. So it's really critical for folks out there. It doesn't matter what size their business is. Everything they should be thinking about is message and what they're sending out and what's in it for the client, and with all the things that you guys give, to make sure that that phone call comes back to them and it's their lead, not anybody else's, if that makes sense. So we've really paid a lot of attention to that, a lot of focus to that this year. I've done a lot of work on our websites off of Google and all those campaigns, and I'm blown away how much business we were losing in that arena. It was mind blowing. So we plugged a lot of holes in our boat in that area. But I'll finish. I'll let you comment. And good job on the webinar.
Here's a question here from James. Says, do you have a form that vendors sign that includes the agreement with us realtors, and how do you share your database exactly without giving out private info from customers and clients without their authorization? So which one you guys?
Jason? Yeah.
I asked both of you guys that question. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, I mean, so, authorization and all of that. I mean, when we bring them in and chat with folks, we're gonna pitch them. It's gonna be known that they're getting marketed and advertising. That's a part of our system. That's what benefits them. There isn't any, unless they don't want to be marketed or advertised out there by us, that's just what's happening. So their exposure and their business that comes in, be it through us and through them, through their sources, that's just how it works. So I don't know if I answered the question correctly, if that was the question, but Jason may have a little bit more on that.
Yeah, I think that's good insight. The thing is, I guess really 2 points. One is my database is never released to any company to market to. My database is my database. What I'm simply doing is I'm providing my database access to the affiliates that I have.
Exactly.
So my message is simple. I just say, hey, thanks for doing a real estate deal with us. Look, if there's anything else you need that you could possibly think of, here's a group of professionals that are associated together. We just simply provide that. So the other thing, and Todd, you'll like this. You always talk about delegating versus abdication of. We never give away our marketing to somebody else. We never have someone else just handle our marketing. We control all of our marketing. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting these affiliates in front of my database, but I'm running and controlling the marketing program and the message. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. It really does. Okay, so that answers a lot of questions. Getting a few people here asking about number of affiliates in each category. So for example, 2 lenders, 3 lenders, 4 lenders, 2 painters, 4 floors, 3 dry cleaners, or just 1?
Yeah, so I always start with 1 because that's what the real sell is to people, that they'll exclusively be in that category. Now, again, this is thinking outside of the real estate transaction. This is not a realtor sitting at a table saying, hey, I'm going to refer you to 1 roofer, because I know in Ontario here, we have to provide at least 3 companies as a referral. This is a joint marketing campaign. So this is these are vendors and affiliates that I'm going to contribute to my marketing. It's not sitting at the table at a real estate transaction going, you have to use this lawyer or you have to use this roofer. There's a big difference here. So that's why I've created the company to have all of that stuff filter through them instead of through my real estate sales team. The second thing is I always say to the affiliates, look, you're going to be exclusive until the time where you can't handle or keep up with the volume of business. In my Oshawa location, I have multiple handymen because there is no handyman that can handle the volume of deals. I have 5 lawyers as affiliates, because in Canada we have to have lawyers close a real estate transaction. We don't have title companies. I have 5 lawyers as affiliates because I don't have any 1, 2, 3, or 4 law firms that can handle the volume of business we're sending them. Because it's not just real estate business. It's now, when you start looking at this, a lawyer, they now have the opportunity to incorporate a landscaping company, incorporate a drywall company, set up the proper corporate registrations for the florist, the dentist, all of these different various entities. So they're getting pounded with business. So I haven't found a single law firm that can handle the volume. So that's why we have multiple affiliates. But I do give them exclusivity until they can't keep up the volume.
Okay, great. All right, so let's start it. Let's just looking at some of these questions here, and I'm answering them while you guys are talking. I'm typing in some answers there, but let me see if there's anything we can end on. All right, so on a scale of 1 to 5, with 1 being, this is for both you guys, Tim and Jason, and we'll wrap this up. 1 being, not that important. 5 being like absolutely important. Where does this fall into your daily routine of working on your business? Is this part of the routine, or you know what, it's not that big a deal?
I'll go for it's a 10. We sit around, we all have the same amount of time. It's what we do at that time. And are we making quantum leaps? Are we leveraging the things that we should be leveraging? Are we working on the things we should be working on? Or are we working on things we shouldn't be working on and sucking our time and energy? I'm always looking at ways to leverage and to add income and profits into the system. So this is a 10. I'm looking at other adventures. I'm looking at other joint ventures right now, because you think about all the areas that real estate touches, and it's huge. Prime example is Jason, what he has on his list, let alone. I mean, that's enough to keep you guys busy for a couple years. But anyways, this is a 10. This is folks that are on this webinar. I hope they take this to heart. These are the things that they should be leveraging. And you should work on this every day, rather than working on an inspection notice or working on signing a listing agreement. I get that's all important, but these backside business things that you spend your time on are critical.
Yeah, I agree. It is of the utmost importance. I look at it as this is the gas in your gas tank to keep your car driving down the road. If you have a way to cover all your bills, expenses, and you don't have to work in your business to cover all that, because it's getting covered by the stuff we talked about today, you have all the time. You have infinite time to work on your business instead of work in it. You don't have to hustle out to get the next deal. You can spend a couple weeks building your business, because you don't need to worry about meeting your month-end rent obligation, or your month-end mortgage payment, or your month-end systems, or anything like that, because you have other people paying for it for you, which just frees you to work on your business and really, really grow it. And if you follow the systems that are in place with the Craig Proctor coaching, I mean, you've got infinite ability to grow your business if you don't have to hustle to meet your monthly obligations at the end of the month. And this exact topic that we're talking about here takes care of all that stuff, so you can spend more time working on your business instead of in it.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Go
ahead,
yeah,
Tim.
Todd, just real quick, and I'll shut up here. It's just it changes with the thinking, Todd. It's the thinking that has to come into, be correct to come into play on this stuff. And you can get sucked into routines day in and day out, and you never go anywhere. Your business is flatline. But like Jason said, I totally agree with what he just said. So it's what you do with your time that matters.
Yeah, and you guys are definitely spending good time working on your business versus in it all the time. No wonder you're so successful. Look at all that you guys are involved in and all that you're doing. So congratulations on that. You know what? I appreciate you guys being real candid about, all of these things too. It's a big deal. This was a lot of good. It's still a lot of unanswered questions. I'm going to try to continue that and answer those, offline a little bit along the way. Right now, I'm actually posting on, using other people's money right there. I'm actually posting the Word document that Jason sent me here to make sure that everybody gets a copy of that. So let me put that on there, and I'll give everybody right now exactly the ID number. Okay, so here we go. So let me find out. Here it is, Orlando.
Todd, the other thing too, I think the big why for me is who we impact while you're doing that.
Mhm.
Joe's came to me, and Joe's here. He, no offense, but Joe was sort of struggling. The mortgage business sort of crappy out there. He's beating the bushes trying to get people to do business with him, and so on and so forth. And we come along and we put this thing together, and it's impacted Joe, and it's impacted his wife and kids.
Family.
Yeah, his daughter's now going to college. So that's what matters to me on the backside of everything. Nothing else. All this other stuff is just a run and race, and the wind blows here and there. But it's how we help other people and how we watch them and be successful. That's what matters.
Well, you guys have done a fantastic job of that over the years for sure. So I appreciate it. Thank you. I know everybody else here does too, for sure. Okay. So everyone will be able to find, I'm just not able to get that to stick at the moment, but everybody will be able to find, let me show you where that will be. So right here in using other people's money library, just give me about 30 minutes and I'll make sure that Word document's posted in there so that I can do it. I'll just, rather than delay everybody and give them the ID number, I'll just be better to send it. It'll take me a few minutes here to make it stick. All right. So, all right, with that, hey guys, help me out. How big a deal is it to be at the real estate business conference that we've put together, multi-day offsite business planning and strategy session, a business that works so you don't have to? Like, how big a deal is that for you guys being at these meetings, like the one coming up in Orlando, February 16th and 17th? Is it optional?
Yeah, I canceled a vacation time, as you know, to New Orleans. My wife booked it, and I was like, oh, can't do that. I got to be in Orlando. So we changed our plans around for that. And if you're going to have a business, if you want to have some time and unscheduled time, live in some unscheduled time, you got to go to these. It's where it all starts. And you better take a friggin' notepad, and you better take some notes, and you better implement. And that's just the way it is, Todd. It starts with, I'm going to get something done, and that kind of mindset and that kind of shit. If you don't, you're just floating. You're just pissing in the wind, and that's all it is.
Yeah, for sure. I couldn't agree more. Matter of fact, I would encourage people to bring their admin and implementers to the conference as well, if it permits, or if you can somehow make it work, and get to work and implement right there. I know when we travel as a pack, our team, and quite often we'll be implementing in real time as things are being said in front of us, and spending time in the conference and picking up on the different speakers and listening to the ideas. They're all great, and implementing them is even better. It makes things happen for you. And even spending on your lunch break or after the day is over with someone like Tim or anybody else that's a very successful member of the program, 10 minutes is worth. I don't even know if you can put a value on it, on the stuff you pick up from each other. So you'd be crazy to miss it.
Yep, it's kind of who you hang out with. That's right. This is where the most successful people in our system will be over those days. There's no question about it. I appreciate you guys pitching that. I know people get tired of me pressing on them to be at these things, but it is easy to let other things get in the way. Much more difficult to say, wait a second, it's way better for me to be there. And nobody, I don't think, is going to debate that, being there. But it does take like focus and effort to work on your business and those things. Hey, real quick, I just posted that here. You guys can see it. What is that ID number? 2183. Example list of affiliates. 99 affiliates, I called it. Right there in the using other people's money library. Okay, so you go to craigproctorcoaching.com, the libraries, file library, using other people's money library, and just scroll down and you'll find it right there, the most recent upload. I appreciate that, Jason. Thanks for sharing. Tim, great job. You guys are doing good work there with Joe. Tell him congratulations. We appreciate his time today and input and letting us all know. And I want to thank you guys for being a great part of the family here, the Craig Proctor system. You guys are great. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing everybody in Orlando.
Yep, it'll be here before you know it. Oh my goodness, can't believe it's almost the year in. So, all right, guys, thank you very much. And with that, everyone, Thanks again for jumping on today's Platinum Advanced session on using other people's money, looking at all three levels, all three ways this kind of takes place here and how it goes about. And I'm sure you've got additional questions. It's hard. It's a webinar, so we introduce it. We get into some of the details on it. And then, of course, now, whatever your questions are in terms of the specific application of pulling this off and making it go, we know how to do that. But it gets really into your situation specifically. So it's a great opportunity to make sure that if there are unanswered questions on it, on getting it executed, you got to reach out to your coach, reach out to me. We'll make this go for you, okay? And Jason said he was available to contact as well. So make sure that Jason's okay with me putting his contact information out there. As a matter of fact, Tim, Jason, you guys can go to the Platinum Facebook page. Here it is right here. Platinum Facebook page. Look at that. You guys are doing a great job of having fun with this thing in terms of conversations and posts and everything else going on there. So jump on, take a look at it. Lots of great information here, and Tim and Jason will put their contact right there if you want to reach out to them. That's a good place to grab them and talk a little bit more about this. And that's exactly how this works. We're all in this together. Craig Proctor is intent on all of you achieving your heart's desire, and I'm here to help make that happen. And thank God for the hundreds of people involved in our system that really are championing and cheering on everybody else's success, willing to help and give of their own time to be able to make that happen. Folks like Jason, Tim, Carol, and Vicky over there, and Joe as well, associated with that great company in Arizona. So thank you so much. All right. So with that, you can get to the Platinum Facebook page, get their contact information there, engage in further discussion on it, talk to your coach, and we will continue working on our business so that it becomes a business that works without our constant involvement in Orlando, February 16th and 17th, okay, at the multi-day offsite business planning and strategy session there. And I appreciate all you guys taking advantage of the discounted advanced rooms and everything else going on with that so you can save yourself some money, but get committed to coming. All right. So with it, it's going to wrap it up for today. Thanks a lot, guys and gals. Reach out to me if you're stuck or need some additional help. I'm here to help you quantum leap. And with it, let's go serve big. Thank you. Take care.